top tier list of areas we want to put more focus on and collect some better data. And our opportunity to do a postseason survey this fall in Area 11, which we haven't done for quite some time, would be compromised greatly with a large number of cow hunters in the field in the month of December, which would be our early December would be our optimal time to get what we think would be an accurate representative buck ratio. So we would ask that we don't move a ton of tags into that late season in Area 11, so that we can do that survey and not fly over, 200-300 cow hunters, disrupt that, and even potentially have a disrupted survey.
Thomas, do you does the White Pine County Board agree with that? Okay. And I think maybe the Clark County Cab, because I was there, maybe took off on my comment, and I just wanted to include Area 11, in the potential movement of tags, because it looked like it. I didn't realize that there was this issue, and so anyway.
And we probably would have supported it if we weren't looking for this next fall to be really a key time to do that Area 11 deer survey, but it's just been a long time, and we just don't want another year to go by.
Okay, so do you have some numbers that you can give us as to what you feel? Because I can also tell you that the Clark County Cab was, they just pulled that numbers out of the. I mean, we knew they needed to go up, but I would feel more comfortable if you would.
Well, they had some good support staff there with them to calculate that. But looking at right now, 111, 112, we got 267. And we got 48 late in the month of December. It's all about, how many more could we tolerate? 60 cow elk hunters out there versus 50 maybe. Could we tolerate 70 maybe? But man, I don't know if I'd want to go beyond that.
Well, is Clark County the only county that recommended the movement in the cows?
112.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering whether we shouldn't just go with White Pine County's recommendation on that and leave it alone.
Okay. Well, so I'm just going to move then to 221, 222 then.
Okay.
Actually, it's just 222, and because 221 has a very small quota. So could we? Could we compromise to have 80 tags in that early season instead of their recommended 60, and then actually, could we even get as high as 100 versus our recommended tag quota of 240, and then the late season have 280, and those are with adjustments with success. So how about 100 and 280 for 222? And then for area 23, 24, we could go with, maybe 85 and 230.
Corey, come on up.
And this is more of the 222 unit. Okay, the first thing I know, but the deer hunt success on that early hunt last year was abysmal. It was low. It was 25% or 33%, if you could look at that. And that's one of the factors we're looking at with that adjustment. And I know we're talking peanuts. We're talking 20 out tags or 10 out tags, but everybody hunts the same spot. Everybody's hunting mule shoe burn and part of grafting that they can get to. As soon as As soon as they hear the first shot, those cows run to the top of the mountain. And there's very few guys that are going to go to the top of Grafton to kill a cow. And so that's just a point I want to make in terms of the deer hunt success. And we want that deer hunt success to come up a little bit. So maybe it's something, a counter offer.
We did.
Corey, I should have asked you before you sat down, but are you generally okay with what Mike's talking about with 23 and 24? I mean, that's right where you were last year.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Maybe not 25.
We did have the
Question for White Pine?
cow rifle hunt at the same time we did it now.
Could I ask a question?
Oh, Commissioner Rain.
Yeah, White Pine, if you could comment on 111, 112, and then all those, what on Clark County's suggestion, and then also please on 22.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there's going to be a significant impact in the 111, 112 hunt, so I'm comfortable leaving it the way you guys have it, because I too am concerned about getting a good buck, postseason buck ratio, because it's been since 2009 since we've had one, and we'd like to see a good count in there to true up the model, make sure everything's good. I think we can probably swallow that, Mike. I think I could sell it at home and not get lynched too bad.
The 222.
Mm-hmm. So, sounds good to us.
Okay.
Sam, let's scratch these and maybe do something like this, or 80, 280.
Okay, well, Lincoln, I guess, is your only issue on, I don't know if the difference between what Corey was saying and what we have proposed here is a major difference, but anyway. And it probably depends a lot on what we're going to do on the deer side as well, so, because that's really the other part of the equation, because that's where the congestion is the combination of both. So anyway, but I personally don't have any heartburn with this recommendation. So any other comment, Commissioner Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, so if I'm clear on the 111, 112.
Grab the mic.
On 111 and 112, the Clark County recommendation has been, we're not considering that now, and we're going with the department recommendation?
And
according to what White Pine County said and what Mike said.
And let me give you the explanation for that. At the Clark County CAB meeting, I was the one that stood up and raised the issue of this cow hunt. And I was obviously mostly concerned with 222, and I didn't mention anything about the 223, the 20, every 23 hunts at all. But, because I didn't notice it, I should have. But when I looked up and saw the quotas in Area 11, I thought that maybe we had the same issue there, and so I included it just based on my perception that maybe a White Pine would be saying something about it. Now that they have come forth and we have this other issue with the, flying, to get the deer survey correct, I have no heartburn with going with what White Pine County wants to do, and I don't think Clark County had any heartburn about it either. So I hope that explains.
Just a question, Mr. Cox, please. If we went in 222 early, if we went with 80 as a compromise, what would you suggest, if that was the decision of the commission, what would you suggest for 222 late to get the same success, the same harvest, excuse me? We're at 60, we're at 100, 80's in the middle. If we went with 80, what would you suggest as late? So we know our options are.
I mean, 260, 270.
270, okay, so 270, I think that's what I heard. So 80 and 270 would get approximately the same harvest. Maybe. Give or take. Got it. Thank you.
Because I had said, if we had 100, when we were trying to kill about 130, 135 cow elk, and with 100, I said, we probably need 280. If we, I'm sorry, I I went the wrong direction. It's probably should be like 310, 320.
So we went with 80. It's about 310 more or less. Okay.
Should have brought a pencil for as many times as I scratched out.
I'm fine. I'm sure. I'm fine with the recommended quota from Lincoln County in 23. It's pretty similar. So if the 80, 80 230, 80 228 is what they recommended. In the spirit of compromise.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so now we're changing the 23 units, 80 and what?
To Lincoln County is suggested.
So we're talking 60, 80, and 228? Is that starting with 222 early and going right down those next ones right in a row?
I had 80, 310, 85, and 230.
That's about where I'm at.
That's what I have.
Okay. So
What if I throw out a motion with that, and then we'll see where we're at and change it?
Are you going to take public comment too, Mr. Chairman?
I think I already did, right?
No.
Yeah.
Just
Is there any additional public comment with regard to the, come on up.
Yeah, for the record, Ken Gray, Eastern Region Game Supervisor. Just want to let you guys make you aware that we're probably going to go to arbitration with Wade West in Unit 121 and Uvalde in Unit 111, which is pretty insignificant, maybe a tag or two difference, but just want to make you aware that that quota could change based on the outcome of the arbitration panel.
Is that on landowner tags?
That's right, for the elk incentive tags.
Okay.
For the bull tags.
Bull tags, okay. I don't know if that really doesn't impact the quota recommendations for the rest of the hunts, does it? I mean,
We take them out of the total bull tags, assuming 100% success on the incentive tags. So right now we're assuming a certain number of incentive tags based on the paperwork we have from last year, and that's taken right off the top, and then the remaining is what we provide.
yeah. But the tags that are at issue are relatively, how many tags? 2, 3?
We're just talking about really 1 or 2 with each
Okay.
arbitration situation.
Okay. Okay, we
it's
appreciate the
different.
information. I'm not sure if it's going to change our decision making, is I guess my point.
I mean, if arbitration allowed for an extra tag, it'd be kind of an add-on tag.
Yeah, okay. Okay, are we ready? Any other questions?
I think there's a question in this audience.
For the record, Darren Elmore, Director for Nevada Bighorns Unlimited here in Reno. Just wanted to I'll say this once in the effort to save some time. Just wanted to let the Commission know it's our desire that you adopt the NDOW recommendations as presented for the quotas across all species, taking into consideration any input provided by any of the cabs, which seems to be exactly what we're doing. So
Okay.
this is what we wanted. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, somebody want to take a stab at a motion on elk? Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move to approve elk hunt 4102 as presented by the department. Elk hunt 4151 as presented by the department. Elk hunt 4156 as presented by the department. Elk hunt 4161 as presented by the department. Elk hunt 4181 as presented by the department with the following changes to 222 early from 240 to 80, 222 late from 39 to 310, 223, 231, 241, 242 early from 112 to 85, and 223, 231, 241, 242 late from 196 to 230. Elk hunt 4176 as presented. Elk hunt 4111 as presented. Elk hunt 4251 as presented. Elk hunt 4256 as presented. And elk hunt 4261 as presented.
And I'll second that for discussion, and then I've got an amendment when you're ready.
Okay.
Could I ask staff a question? By changing those early and late, we need to change the non-resident anywhere along the way? Mix?
No, but just because we don't have a non-resident antlerless, so
Okay.
as long as we don't change any of the
Antler, okay. But I think that's going to be the issue. Okay, so we have a motion and a second with an amendment by the second. Go ahead, Commissioner Drew.
Yeah, my proposed amendment would be to follow Humboldt's recommendation on 072074 early, mid, late. So it would be 072074 would be 2 for hunt 4151, 69 for the mid, and 78 for the late. And my reason for that motion on the amendment is of potential concern with conflict between the muzzleloader and the rifle hunters. I think we need to at least have a discussion on that.
Okay. Just a question, is there need to be any adjustment, because of the movement of those tags? I mean, we're keeping all the number of tags that are being recommended, we're just moving them around. But does there need to be an increase because of hunter success or any of that, like we did with the cow hunts?
Oh,
if you accept that recommendation.
Yeah, we should, because we're pretty much assuming 100% success for that early season. And if we shift those tags to the mid,
You're going from 100 to 72 to 53. You're going to put 8 here.
yeah, so we dropped it about 20% from the early to mid, and then
50%.
pretty similar to the late. So, maybe add an extra tag in each.
So I'll withdraw my amended motion and restate it. So my amendment, or my motion for amendment to hunt 4151 would be for 072074 early to be 2 tags, 072074 mid to be 70 tags, and 072074 late to be 80 tags. I think that adds the couple that Mike had talked about to making that success.
80.
70 and 80.
So from 16 to 2, from 62 to 70, and from 71 to 80.
You guys okay with that?
Second motion with 10 and 16.
Okay, with that, I would just ask if there's any adjustment that needs to be made on the non-resident hunt for either of those areas.
Since we didn't have a companion resident hunt for the non-residents, the non-residents just have the mid and late corresponding to the residents, and the 90-10 split did accommodate all 3 seasons for the resident and the 2 in the late.
It's only 3 tags.
Yeah,
No change.
I mean, if you want to throw an extra tag into one of those for the non-residents, just because we added, but we only added 3, so we would have had to add at least 6 or 7 to get an additional
Okay.
non-resident. So I think we're fine.
Yeah, okay. Commissioner Wallace?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If it makes it simpler, as the original motion maker, I would accept those changes for my motion, so we don't have to
Okay.
through 6 different
Votes. Okay, so you're accepting the amendment for the main motion. So now we got a new main motion. Okay, good. Commissioner Rob, excuse me.
Yeah, I know I'm after amendment to the original motion. in area 161, 164, 171, 173 early, to increase it from 8 to 12. That's a quality hunt. We've argued over this hunt for a long time, and that's one of the most sought after hunts we have going. And that I don't have a dog in the fight anymore. I've killed my bulls, so I'm out of that fight, but I still have the same opinion.
Is that an amendment?
That's an amendment, so.
Okay, so we have, you want to just have that as part of the main amendment, main motion then?
You can, I'd like to ask.
Okay, go ahead. Department, you guys
Does the
have,
department have any issue with that?
Just adding that, those 4 tags. I mean, we have the bulls.
There's no non-resident hunt, so you'd have to go in there without a non-resident.
Let's go to the 4251.
Or there is one tag. There's already one tag.
Right. Again, it was 4. I would say that if we added 6 or 7, then you might consider a non-resident.
okay.
It's 7 total, that's right, that's right. Statewide, it is a statewide 90-10 split. So, I guess if that is your druthers for all of those amendments for the bull hunts, is to sprinkle one tag somewhere, either in 072 or Area 60.
For non-resident.
For non-resident 42.
I'll withdraw my amended motion, because did you second it already?
I did, but I can withdraw it.
If I move it down to 2, then we don't have to sprinkle one in. I withdraw my amended motion.
Second.
I would like to make an amended motion to raise that to 10 in that 161, 164, 171, 173 early 10, then we don't hit that magic threshold, and we're kind of splitting the baby there.
I'll second that.
Okay. I hope somebody has got the motions and the amended motions and all that straightened out. Commissioner Drew, do you want to, is there any problem? Does everybody understand the motion? Anybody on the commission have any
Just watch it
comments?
right there.
Okay, we got it up on the board?
Yeah, so 4151, 072 early 16 to 2, mid 62 to 70, late 71 to 80, 161 through 164, 171, 73 early 8 to 10, and then moving down to 4181. Oops. 222 early to 80, 222 late to 310, 231, 85, and then the 231 unit group late to 230.
So all that was actually incorporated into the main motion as a friendly amendment.
Right.
And I'm fine with that as the second of that original motion.
Okay. Any additional comment from the commission? Oh, Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One comment I'd like to make in relationship to the elk hunts is that I think the department has done some creative things trying to make a commitment to ranching to try to control these numbers. And if you look at the population status and the biologist report, the elk herd is thriving and increasing at astronomical numbers. And they've stepped up to the plate on these quotas, tried to be creative with some additional seasons without conflicting with numerous other seasons and hunts, to kind of try to keep these populations in check. And it's difficult in the antlerless, on these antlerless hunts, because they've had as low as 18% success rate on the antlerless hunts. And that just seems hard for me to swallow, that we can have that low of a success rate with this number of animals out here. With that being said, I think that there's an attempt on the department's part to try to look into that issue and do something about it. And there are some different measures that we'll be looking at on the elk committee and stuff in the future to try to address some of these problems. And I know that talking to the biologists that they're looking into some different things that maybe we could do to increase those success rates.
Okay, so that's more of a comment?
That's more of a comment, but we're on the elk deal and about to pass a motion, so that's why I threw that out there. Maybe it wasn't at the right time, but
no, that's all right. No, that's good. But now we always got to take into account the ranching, when it comes to elk. There's no doubt about it. Okay, I have a motion and a second, and I think we've got it nailed down pretty good. And I seeing no further comment, let's go ahead and vote on the elk. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, we're done with elk.
Motion passes unanimously for the record.
Yeah, motion passes unanimously for the record. Sorry. Thank you. Moving on to Nelson Bighorn.
We did have just a couple alternative recommendations. Churchill, Nye, and Pershing County. Now, certainly after they get up, I can certainly address the Stonewall Mountain 252 hunt. A couple of them commented on.
Okay, you want to say you want to?
We'll let them.
Okay, let them go first. Okay, cabs and public on the desert bighorn sheep hunts, or actually all the. Are we doing just desert?
Your choice. We could start with just Nelson Desert Bighorn 3151.
Okay, let's do that, and then maybe we do all the rest together, including the goat hunts. Okay, let's do that.
Joe Krim, Persian Cab. My cab quota recommendation was a little misconstrued. If you would have read my minutes, it was different. We only wanted to keep the quota at last year's level in 045, which was 2. They had looked at moving it to 3 this year, but we had a cab member that hunted that area last year, and he thought that 3 people were going to flood the area, possibility of mucking out most of the bigger rams. But we went with the department recommendations on all the other ones.
Thanks, Joe.
Sorry, Mike.
Okay.
Troy Smith, Churchill County. You can see our recommendation on 252 there. We did not oppose the department's recommendation on 181, which is in Churchill County. It's recommended for 10 tags. The discussion that we had at our meeting was, and the biologist that was there, who's in charge of that area, said if he could go back, he would probably split that season because it is a fairly small area. And so just for future reference, when we get to the point next year, if some of these areas that have high numbers of tags, if they have those kind of tag numbers next year, including 181, we might want to consider splitting the seasons to offer the sportsmen better quality, less congested.
Okay. Any other cap comment? Okay, Mike. Oh, okay, come on up, Thomas.
Sorry about that. Our county voted on the sheep numbers before I had a chance to see what was going on, and then they put it to a vote, and I didn't get a chance to make an amendment. I hunted Unit 132 last year, and and I saw 68 sheep in the unit. I saw more than what they observed from the air. I talked to Mike Podmorny after our meeting, and he actually was expecting me to lower the quota. We had a discussion about it afterwards, but I did not see enough mature rams while hunting in there to warrant a third tag. There's only one other ram we could find in the unit that was even 6. And what he observed from the air, he said he did not even observe a mature ram from the air. So I would just like to reduce it back to the quota it was last year, which is 2. Thanks.
That was 132?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
132.
2.
Okay, Mike, on the other ones?
I know not sure if anyone's here from Nye County, but we're aware of kind of being squeezed between a rock and a hard place on Stonewall Mountain, Unit 252. The herd continues to do well, plenty of mature rams, but we are somewhat at the mercy of the Air Force and Nellis range of trying to accommodate our hunters, being the majority of the hunt area is within their boundaries. And there's a basically the issue is there's a congestion issue with going beyond 7, 8 tags, and there's a couple things we can do. The one thing we don't want to do is have that hunt eliminated, and have some issues during the hunt that maybe we could have controlled that could create a problem or force someone to do something he may have not otherwise done. And a lot of it has to do with the hunting party size and the number of days that we can hunt. And then there's also the hunt area extends. Opening weekend, it's limited. And then when we get into Thanksgiving weekend, they've always allowed us to extend the hunt interior to the range. And we've probably been averaging 8 to 10 hunters in the field with each hunter. Some of them have a list of 15 to 20 party members who go through the EOD briefing that are available to go with each hunter, but depending on their schedule and when they kill, well, they'd be available late. And our southern region has discussed it with the range support staff, and right now we've got a great rapport with Nellis and the Air Force. They've kind of embraced the hunt and really feel very strongly that it's important for them to make it a quality hunt. I mean, they really have gone out of their way to accommodate this, and we've asked them, 2 or 3 things that they can do, which is we have a cooperative agreement that clearly states the length of the season, and we've maxed that out. So, and that's 3 weeks. So, yeah, I guess we could split that into, a 15, 16-day season. We could have them potentially extend the opening of the area interior to the Nellis Range earlier, but they haven't given us an answer yet on that. But they're willing to look at that. But chances are that probably I wouldn't count my chickens on that one. And then having them come to us and regulate the party size. I mean, they regulate who can go out there can't have a felony on your record. You got to be of a certain age. You have to provide all the information on your personal information to them. So, but they've voiced their concerns of they just don't want to be the bad guy. I mean, they really feel positive about this hunt. So then that looks, will that put the onus on us to take some precaution or take some measure that we don't have now? So I definitely think we need to discuss this thoroughly. We'll get back with Nellis, with our Southern Region staff, explore all those options. But I think, you know, our quota as it was for everything was biological. So our recommendation of 10 tags, we can support, the ramps can support it, but until maybe, I would suggest, as a couple of the counties have, and even our Southern Region, not to press the issue and do something that could, you know, cause a problem before we have a chance to maybe resolve it working together. So we would support a reduction of that quota back to 7, but I really want to emphasize that we need to take as much action as we can and make the time to do something different between now and next year.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Robb.
I have a suggestion that I've thought of in the past couple of days of something different we could do on Stonewall, because that's a place I've been multiple times. I was down there with you, and what made me think about it was the time we were down there together. There was a miscommunication on the dates. We went to the class. We could not go onto the test site
at all
at the beginning of the season. So I think there's an opportunity, because I've deer hunted Stonewall, chuck hunted Stonewall, done other things on Stonewall, because Stonewall is not entirely on the base. You have private or BLM land and Nellis land. I think we could think in the future for a split, and if we need 10 tags in there, have it a 7-3 split, 3 in an early season, that you are not allowed to go onto the test site. You have to hunt BLM land. I've been on multiple sheep hunts that we have taken sheep on the BLM side of that mountain, but you do not have the whole mountain. But I think we do have an opportunity for a split. It would just be a different type of hunt for the guys that drew it in the early season. You would know you wouldn't have the full benefit of the mountain, but there's you would have a line of people still looking for that limited opportunity. So we can't do anything about it this year. But
okay.
I think that's
well,
I'd like to throw out for
yeah. So maybe we'll. Sounds like we need to vet that. You know, season setting as well as you know maybe some of the maybe some rules with regard to the number of the party size and that kind of stuff to stay in the good graces of the Air Force.
Well, we used to have the indoctrination class in one room at the BLM office. Now they've had to hold it at multiple times. With 10 tags, I think you're going to have to move to the convention center. I mean,
may have to drive down a Pahrump or something.
Okay. Any other commission comments on the desert bighorn quota? Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead, Commissioner Wallace.
I just had one comment. I attended the Esmeralda Cab meeting the other night, and we're kind of approaching the same situation. You've kind of saturated that with 21 tags. You're kind of entering the same situation of having a whole entourage of people in that area, which is very small, especially where it's been divided into north and south. So they spoke with Tom Donham the other day, and he's going to go back and look at splitting that season as well. And I'm not sure of the pros and cons on that, but I also know that you're putting a whole lot of people in a small area there. That's
just for my clarification, that's units 205,
211 north and 211 south. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. Again, future reference. Okay. So I got a motion and a second on desert bighorn sheep. Any further comment? We ready to vote? Oh, we got a motion. Excuse me. We don't have a motion. We need to have a motion. I jumped the gun.
I'll make a motion
Yeah.
on desert hunt 3151 to take department recommendations with the exception of unit 132. They recommended 3, take it back down to 2. And in area 252, take it from 10 to 8. And as an addition to that motion, hunt 3251, take up department recommendations as submitted.
How about 045?
045, take it from 3 to 2 also.
Second.
Want me to restate the motion? I'll restate the motion for hunt 3151 to take department recommendations with the exception of 045 from 3 down to 2, 132 from 3 down to 2, area 252 from 10 down to 8, and in hunt 3251 take department recommendations as stated.
Okay, have a motion?
Second.
Second, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, go ahead and vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Let's go ahead and do all of the California bighorn, California bighorn, Rocky Mountain bighorn, and Rocky Mountain goat.
I'll just state that we would support Elko County's alternative recommendations for the 7151.
Okay. Okay. Ken, did you want to have any? Do you have any comment on that, or you're okay with it?
Personally, I do, but not my board is with that.
Okay. Any other comments on the California bighorn, Rocky Mountain bighorn, Rocky Mountain goat proposed hunts, resident and non-resident? Okay, seeing none, go ahead and bring it back to the commission. Any comments with regard to the California bighorn, Rocky Mountain bighorn, and Rocky Mountain goat hunts? Commissioner Robb.
I do have one comment, and it's too late to fix this year, but I'd like to think about it coming next year. On our mountain goats, our residents have 6 tags this year, and we are given a non-resident. You know, we can't do it because that season has been publicized, but when we're setting seasons next year, if we don't think we're going to hit that 10 threshold, you know, I've heard some comments.
We'll be in a much better situation this year. We were literally collecting data at that same time with our, you know, glass half full attitude, hoping that we'd see more positiveness out there, and we didn't. So when we came in with the quotas, unfortunately in April and May, it was after the season. So, but I think we'll have a better handle on.
Okay.
Okay. Any further comment from the commission, from the cabs? Okay, so go ahead, Ken.
Ken Wellington, Elko, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself because my cab's already made a choice on this, but it wouldn't even hurt my feelings on the 2 in area 102 to drop that to a 1. We've had major low kid recruitment, and I think it's like 3 years for mature to reproduce, and I think my biologist has been up in that area, and the most he's seen is 5. And so that just caused me, personally, I wouldn't have a feeling taking that to 1 at the board. I didn't think about it until after, but just for a personal input. Thank you.
Mr. Cox, any comments?
101?
No, in the
102.
102, we'll take it from
Oh.
2 to 1 if we recommend it, so they're all 1.
We recommended 3, the board came in 2.
Right.
So,
Just real quick, the reason being is
Yes,
because we do have a non-resident tag also, and we'll have a PIW tag. And so that's why after we had voted on this, then somebody reminded us that we'd have that PIW tag coming in there, and I'm like, oh no, I should have probably recommended a 1 in that second hunt also, but
I guess I'd ask our eastern region to chime in if it's that dire a
Okay.
situation.
Caleb, coming up.
Yeah, for the record, Caleb McAdoo, Department of Wildlife, biologist for Area 10. Our surveys this year, we classified about 103 goats in Unit 102. I believe our kid ratio was 7 kids per 100. That's down significantly, not only from last year, but the year prior when the die-off hit. This is a big concern for us, and because of the life history traits of mountain goats are susceptible to overhunting because of nannies don't come into sexual maturity until a minimum of age 3, if not age 5. So it is a big concern for us. Unit 101, we classified around 79 goats, had a kid ratio in the 5 to 6 range, and then in Unit 103, classified 11 goats, 2 of which were kids. So a higher kid ratio in 103, but much lower population there. If you have any specific questions, I can answer them. But.
Well, the question is there is a specific comment from Mr. Wellington to drop the 102 that's recommended from Elko from right now at 2 to 1.
Yeah, as a biologist in the area, I have no concern with that. Again, I think this is a time where we can be conservative and kind of see what we're looking at for recruitment next year.
Okay.
He did see 96 adults in 102. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there's a lot more goats there, and so...
The literature, the preponderance of the literature states that you should harvest around 1% of your total population. That varies between 1 and 4%, and there is some outlying literature that talks about up to 15%, some older literature. And it does change when you have an introduced herd versus a native herd. Of course, ours is an introduced herd. So in that 1 to 2 range, either way is fine with me, and I think the department's okay either way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any comment on that? You got your paper up, Commissioner Randy, you have a comment?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
To approve hunt 8151 California bighorn sheep as recommended by the department. 8251 as recommended by the department. 9151, which is Rocky Mountain, as recommended by the department. 7151. 101, quota of 1. 102, quota of 2. 103, quota of 1, giving us a total of 4 in 7151. 7251, quota of 1. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, and we got a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the California Rocky and Rocky Mountain goat hunts. And so Commissioner Rain is going with more hunter opportunity on the Unit 102.
And the Elko Cab's recommendation.
And the actual Elko Cab recommendation. So any other comments with regard to that from any of the commissioners? Okay, seeing none, then I'll go ahead and call for it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Suzanne, where are we on lunch? At noon? 10 more minutes. I don't want to get into the bear hunt, and I don't I want to maybe take a break. Shoot. Okay, could you check real quick and find out where we are?
Sure. Chairman Macbeth?
Yes, go ahead.
If it turns out that we have a few minutes, we could possibly discuss strategies in dealing with the youth hunt.
Okay.
And then dive into the remaining quotas after that. Historically, what we've done is, since all of the quota tables are linked, all the arrays and everything are linked up, when we take those youth tags off, there's a commensurate decline.
Increase,
and
okay.
it changes things. So I can give you some background if that's something you want to do.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead then, and do we need Suzanne here? Yeah, let's wait for her to get back, and then.
No. Just justify it.
I think you
96 of them.
That's right.
Okay, your area is 14, right? 141 through 145.
That's beautiful. Well, you got the use tags over 3,000. I've been asking for 3 years. You know that.
We never sold them all. Until this year, until last year.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and give us a rundown on the youth hunt.
Historically, we've approached this different ways in different years. Basically, there's a table up here that shows the youth hunt tag sales across all draws, and we can see that there's been an increase. There was a commission change that allowed for youths to apply up until 18, which we saw a big increase in 2011 in the number of first draw applicants. So it went from 2,800 up to almost 3,500. And as a matter of fact, last year was the first year that we were fully subscribed. We actually sold. This is the tag sales, and this is the tag quota. We actually sold all of the tags. And if you go back in previous years, you'll see that the quota exceeds the sales in each year. This is the quota and this is the sale. And the intent has been to leave some tags on the table, but with the change allowing youths to apply up to 18, it increased the number of applicants, and we actually were fully subscribed at 2807 last year. Trying to get ahead of the curve a little bit, Mike contacted Don Sefton to get some idea of what the tag applicants, the first draw tag applicants for the youth hunt was this year, and it was 3,625. So the number of tags currently distributed amongst the youth hunt represents that demand. It's at 3,624, I think, for a total, and that was how that was derived, was based on the actual demand at that time. So again, it's certainly the commission's purview to go whichever direction they desire on this.
So we're going to cut one kid out?
It'd be my kid.
Your kid?
Well, it's
mine, man. I'm telling you.
they still haven't reconciled exactly all the applications. So there's paper applications, and so it's about 3624-ish, but
okay, I'm just
giving us grief. Yes.
He was a bad kid.
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner Drew.
Just one of the questions I have, and I don't know if we want to sneak it in before lunch or right after, but some of the cabs that recommended going to last year's quota, in reading the minutes, I'm not clear if that was specific to the youth hunt or not, so maybe like Humboldt, Lincoln, and Eureka could address that real quick for me, just so it's clear.
For the record, Corey Lytle, Lincoln Cab. Our youth numbers are derived through the model off what we're recommending on the illegal weapon hunt. And so everything we're recommending is driven there. And so you'll actually see a reduction in 221, 223, like a 15% reduction, and then a 5% reduction in 231. And we're willing to shift some, maybe shift some out of the archery if that ends up being the deal. And I've got stuff to explain that later. That was just the reason why ours are at those levels.
Jim Evans with Eureka. We anticipated that the percentage wouldn't change in terms of the youth percentage allocated for the hunt, and that our recommendation with a static level would not change.
So you're saying you'd like to stay at the 2011 quota for 141 to 145 for the youth as well?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
For the record, Tom Casanova, Humboldt County. We're in agreement with that everything should shift. We make our recommendations off of the general rifle season, and then the youth hunt should reflect that. So I don't know how that's going to affect the process. We can be flexible with that. I mean, the youth hunt has always been an issue that we've been supportive of. So, thank you.
Gary Coleman, Pershing County Cab. Basically, our recommendations are going to be to up the youth tags, but it goes along with what we're proposing for the regular mule deer hunt. So that's where that is.
So Gary, you're okay with the increase in the youth quotas, but holding the 2011 for the other?
See, actually, our quota for the youth dropped for this year. The proposed youth dropped, and we'd like to keep it up, even though we're going to hopefully go with last year's, tag quota.
What unit group did you go with that?
043, 046.
Is that reflected?
Okay, Mike? Elaine, did you have a question?
Why that is?
The currency is dead deer, and so if success changes, then the quota changes.
Also, the percent of the junior harvest is does. If that changes, I can give you an example. It changed quite a bit in 194, 196. There was 1 year, and we used a 3-year average. 1 year they killed, of the deer that the juniors harvested, 30% were does. And then, so that contributed greatly to that 3-year average. And what that did is it would add a couple more tags onto the quota, because we're just carving off buck tags to the kids before it gets to the adults. We're not carving off does, so we add doe tags commensurate to accommodate the likelihood of does being harvested by the juniors. And then all of a sudden, boom, 2 years later, they killed 0 does. And for the last 2 years, it was 0. And so their quota also went down because we didn't have to throw any tags out there for the doe harvest. So it was probably a combination of success rate went up, and maybe they were shooting less does.
Commissioner Drew, is that you answer your question then?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the youth hunt? Oh, she's not here. Oh, okay.
Well, there it is.
Okay, well, we'll just wait for... Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to break for lunch. It's almost here, and we'll pick up on the mule deer quotas when we get back, and 45 minutes, give or take.